Okay, thanks everyone for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and get started. Please go ahead and use the meeting chat function as we go through this webinar. Any questions that you have, please go ahead and send those to me, and I will make sure that I ask them of Julie at the end of the webinar. Okay, so I am going to get started here and introduce Julie Reiser. Julie is the co-founder of Made in USA Certified, which was founded in 2008. Made in USA Certified is the nation's leading third-party, independent, nonpartisan certification company for Made in USA, Product of USA, and Service in USA claims. Julie has been sought out as an expert in Made in USA initiatives from numerous organizations, including Fox Business Live, ABC, NBC, CNN, and USA Today. Julie's honors and awards include the 2010 Micro to Million Dollar Business Award in San Francisco and the 2011 Women Impacting Public Policy President's Award in Washington, D.C. Though nonpartisan, Julie and Made in USA Certified have received acclamations and endorsements from Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack, Congressman Steny Hoyer, Congressman Ted Deutsch, and CFO of the state of Florida, Jeff Atwater, as well as many others. Again, just before Julie starts, please do use the meeting chat function for any questions, and I'll ask those at the end. And until then, Julie, all yours.
Thank you, Dina. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. So today's webinar, we're going to be talking about Made in USA Certified, but we're also going to be talking about building business and building trust with the Made in USA claim. The agenda today, we're first going to look at the data. What are the trends for products made in the United States? Then we're going to look at the confusion. How do we know what's made in the USA from a consumer standpoint? And building trust. How do we build trust with our consumers? And then finally, a little overview of what we do here at Made in USA Certified. The data. There is an overwhelming, growing U.S. consumer demand for Made in USA products. More than 80% of U.S. consumers say they are willing to pay more for products labeled Made in USA, according to research from the Boston Consulting Group that was done in November 2012. In a similar poll conducted by Harris in 2010, the number was 60%. So a stronger upward shift in opinion is clearly in effect in a relatively very short period of time. Now, what we thought was interesting, and you'll see this on the graphic, is more than 80% of U.S. consumers and surprisingly over 60% of Chinese consumers say they are willing to pay more for products labeled Made in USA versus those labeled Made in China. So we found that not only is this a growing consumer demand here in the United States, but we're seeing this worldwide, and we're also seeing this specifically in China that we thought was very interesting. So again, this slide is talking about the growing U.S. consumer demand for Made in USA products. And as many of you know that are on this webinar today, that the Made in USA brand has never been stronger. Consumers now have a better understanding between the relationship between U.S. jobs and their purchasing power, because their purchasing power is really actually a vote for the world that they want to see around them. So if a consumer is purchasing something that's made in USA, they're actually voting for that. They're voting for U.S. jobs, and they're voting for U.S. domestic manufacturing. Also, quality concerns about foreign products have become forefront in our news media all over the country, whether it's Chinese drywall that we saw in Florida, or tainted pet products where thousands of cats and dogs had died, or tainted milk. You could go on and on. The lead in the paint, etc. So people and consumers are very concerned about the quality and the safety of the products that they're buying, and they do feel that not necessarily that if it's made in USA doesn't mean it's 100% safe all the time. As we know, we've had quality control issues in our own factories here in the U.S., but it definitely gives consumer added peace of mind, particularly when it comes to ingestible items like food and nutritionals, that if it's coming from the United States, there's higher environmental and safety and health regulations that are protecting those manufacturing processes of those goods. We're also seeing strong support by both President Obama and Congress to recognize and encourage growth of U.S. brands and manufacturing here in the United States. The theme that we can make it in America is all over this administration. In the last election cycle, it was really very much brought to the forefront. So this is great news, also encouraging consumers to buy Made in USA. And again, we see a large amount of media attention and focus on Made in America. The ABC World News Tonight with Diane Sawyer is a perfect example of some great mainstream media coverage, but we're also seeing it in Fox. We're also seeing it CNN. Everywhere we turn, whether it's the New York Times or Women's Wear Daily, we're seeing this theme arise in the media. So manufacturers know that this is a great branding and marketing side note for them to get out a message to consumers that this is something that they care about. Time, for example, talking about media, had come out, and I believe this was around April or March of this year, with the cover story of Made in the USA. Manufacturing is back, but where are the jobs? So we have seen, and this article is very interesting, and I encourage you guys to look it up and read it, but it is talking about how there is this resurgence and reshoring of manufacturing to the United States, and we're seeing that not only with Apple, we're seeing it with Samsung and the Galaxy, we're seeing it with GE, we're seeing it with a lot of large companies, and now even so with Walmart. So this is a very, very timely, important conversation that's happening. So why is manufacturing coming back? Why are these large, very consumer, outward-facing brands bringing this manufacturing back? Well, number one, U.S. factories increasingly have had access to cheap energy thanks to oil and gas from the shale boom. Number two, for companies outside the U.S., it's the opposite. High global oil prices translate into costlier fuel for ships and planes, which means some labor savings from low-cost plants in China evaporate when the goods are shipped thousands of miles. And let's also not forget the green print that we have on our environment as well. Number three, and about those low-cost plants, workers from China to India are demanding and getting bigger paychecks, while U.S. companies have won massive concessions from unions over the past decade. So suddenly, the math on outsourcing for companies doesn't look quite as attractive, and this was taken directly from Time Inc., April 11, 2013. So we know Made in USA is good for the country. The trade deficit with China cost the U.S. economy $37 billion, and that's with a capital B, in lost wages in 2011. And this is from the Economic Policy Institute of 2012. And we're seeing now that we have gone so extreme in one direction that the pendulum is now swinging back. So Paul Ashworth, North American economist for Capital Economics, had stated, the offshoring boom does appear to have largely run its course. We will agree with that here at Made in USA Certified. Made in USA is good for Americans as well. Nearly 12 million Americans, or 9% of the workforce, are employed directly in manufacturing. And this is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics 2012. Made in USA is good for jobs. Manufacturing supports an estimated 17.2 million jobs in the United States, about 1 in 6 private sector jobs. And this is also from the Bureau of Labor Statistics 2012. Made in USA is good for the economy. For every dollar that's spent in manufacturing, another $1.48 is added to the economy, the highest multiplier effect of any economic sector. And this is from the Bureau of Economic Analysis in 2011. Made in USA is big for business. If U.S. manufacturing was a country, it would be the 10th largest economy in the world, ahead of India and China. Again, from the Bureau of Economic Analysis in 2011. So what does this all mean? What does this all mean for the manufacturer, and what does this all mean for the consumer? And this graphic sort of shows the cyclical effect of this. The critical question, the critical component is how do we continue to grow consumer demand for Made in USA goods? And here you can see the consumer demand for products made in the USA grows. So the manufacturing in the U.S. gets stronger. So the consumer is demanding more products that are made in the USA, which causes manufacturing to increase. This then, therefore, causes the job market to expand, which then strengthens the U.S. economy, which then again gives Americans more power to do what? To buy American and to buy more Made in USA goods. And so this cycle continues. So this is exactly how we at Made in USA Certified see the importance of consumers buying Made in USA and the impact it has on manufacturing and on job expansion and our overall economy. The confusion. So that, as many of you know, and I hear this every day, there's a lot of confusion around what it means when someone says on their product and packaging that they're made in USA or made in America. And the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, is charged with overseeing false and misleading marketing claims to consumers, one of which is Made in USA, the Made in USA claim. So the FTC has attempted to clear up this confusion and has come up with a law and a standard for making those claims on your product and packaging. And it goes very much into detail, and I encourage all of you to take a look at this on their website, on the Federal Trade Commission website and the Better Business Bureau, because it's very complicated and we don't have time to go into all of it today. But these are some this is an overview of some of the main points. Number one, the FTC Act gives the Commission the power to bring law enforcement actions against false or misleading claims that a product is of U.S. origin. Number two, a product advertised as Made in USA must be all or virtually all made in USA. And number three, the enforcement policy statement on U.S. origin claims provides guidance to marketers on both unqualified and qualified Made in USA claims under the all or virtually all standard. Bottom line, is this working, and are companies playing by the rules? And, again, even within our own Federal Trade Commission standard and laws, there's a lot of confusion around what all or virtually all means, what negligible means. There's a lot of vagueness around that. And so, again, that's where Made in USA Certified would come in and offer a little bit more clarification to that point. So, again, I would encourage you all to visit the Federal Trade Commission website and look at that yourself. Made in USA Certified is not affiliated with the Federal Trade Commission, and so it's best you go to them to look at the standards that they apply federally for all companies that want to make that claim. So this slide is a great slide because this says who. How can we believe this? So these are just a small example of if a consumer were to go into a retail store and walk down any given aisle, they're going to see products that have all sorts of logos that say that they're made in USA. It could be as simple as a little flag. Could be one of these, logos that we had searched out and found, or a plethora of other ones. And anyone can go to the internet and put in Made in USA and click on images, and thousands of Made in USA images come up. And anyone really can go out there and download one of these images, get some stickers made up, graphics done up, even create their own logo and slap that on the product. But how does the consumer really know if that is a true statement? And is it compliant with U.S. laws and regulations? And how much of it really is made in USA? So this certainly adds to the confusion. An additional level of confusion comes in when you've got companies like this. This is a great slide where this is a company that says U.S. Apparel, very prominently with the U.S. flag, that's our American flag, and then Made in Pakistan, very much small underneath there. And this type of marketing is very confusing and misleading for consumers because the fact of the matter is this company the company name is called U.S. Apparel, is based in Pakistan, and this is their brand. So if I'm shopping and I'm quickly shopping and I've only got a few minutes and I see these pants. I could quickly, easily purchase these pants thinking that I'm buying something that's made in USA, when in fact I'm not at all. So how do we eliminate this kind of confusion? Because if consumers really want to buy made in USA, they certainly want to buy made in USA products that are truly made in USA, and not products like this that is a product that was actually made in Pakistan, that is not creating U.S. jobs. It isn't supporting U.S. domestic manufacturing. So how can we fix this? Well, we fix this by building trust between the manufacturer and the consumer. And that's where we come in. How can consumers eliminate this confusion? Well, we think the only way to really eliminate this confusion is through third-party certification. You know, a United States president, our 40th president, Ronald Reagan, had said a very famous quote that's often quoted, "Trust but verify." And one of our slogans is trust but certified. We want to trust you. We want to believe what you're saying. But in this day and age, Girl Scouts honor does not work anymore. We need to verify, we need to check, and we need to see for ourselves that what you are stating on your product and packaging is true and verifiable. So not only is that important, but a third-party certification can reduce the time and expense consumers need for identifying, selecting, and purchasing products. Third-party certification is not the final word. The consumer has the final say. But a third-party certification claim is an important factor to consider when selecting a product. This was from Roger McFadden, Chief Innovation Scientist at Staples, Inc. And I think this is a very, very important point, because even though a third-party certification is a critical component in building this trust between companies and manufacturers and their consumers, it isn't the final word, but it is giving consumers the power to make informed choices. And I think that that's very important. So certification also helps to ensure the quality of products and also helps build consumer confidence in the marketplace. And this is from the EPA. So we have three separate sources here that are talking about the importance of third-party certification, whether it's for Made in USA or other types of certifications, what an important role that plays in the marketplace for consumers. So again, why is certification important? Well, often generic Made in USA claims are fraudulent, outright lies, or inaccurate. Some generic Made in America claims really mean the continent of North America due to NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement. Obviously, this claim is meaningless when it comes to job growth in the United States. And I will tell you from personal experience, I have actually been at trade shows in Made in America sections and seen companies that were manufacturing products in Canada, which is part of North America, and were saying that they were made in America. And they truly believed that they were well within their rights and well within the law. But I tend to differ with that opinion because I think that's confusing. And while, yes, Canada is part of North America, it is far from being part of the United States of America. So I think that's where, again, where we see a lot of power in the Made in USA statement, that made in the United States of America. And then both retailers and consumers want more Made in USA products, but both are worried that the package labels and seals are meaningless. They're worried they're being lied to. So consumers and retailers need one standard that they can trust. That's where Made in USA Certified is so important, and that's who we are. We are that one standard for consumers, the standard that consumers can see that seal on product and packaging and know that an independent third party came in and did a supply chain audit of that product and verified that what that company's claim on their packaging, that Made in USA claim, that claim is true and it's verifiable. It's not just a marketing ploy to get consumer dollars. It's not jumping on the Made in America bandwagon to profit and grow that bottom line. It is true and it's verifiable, and an outside third party verified that. So who are we? And how do we have any authority in all of this? Well, since 2008, Made in USA Certified has been the nation's leading independent Made in USA certification source. so that any company bearing one of our USAC seals, whether it's Made in USA certified, product of USA certified, or service in USA certified, those companies have gone through a rigorous supply chain audit to ensure that the product and process originates in the United States of America. Our verified claims give customers the added assurance and companies that powerful marketing tool to compete against their competitors that may be making that claim and may not be so authentic in making that claim. Made in USA certified is the only registered Made in USA certified word mark with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So, and Dina did a great introduction, and she had said some of the recommendations that we have gotten from Tom Vilsack and Steny Hoyer and others. But we also had a really great and powerful recommendation from another president of the United States, President Bill Clinton, in his recent New York Times best-selling book, Back to Work, Why We Need Smart Government for a Strong Economy, on page 192 said, to help us make an American choice on these and other issues, a Florida company, Made in USA certified, verifies companies' claims that the materials and manufacturing are domestic. So in this chapter in his book, he talks about how buying American is important and how that's going to fuel our national economy. But he also addresses in this chapter the fact that it is important when consumers are driven to make those purchases that they're truly making purchases that are made in USA. And the only way to really tell that is to look for that Made in USA certification mark. Who else says, that the Made in USA certified is onto something? Well, the world's largest retailer, Walmart, recently pledged to commit $50 billion, again that's with a capital B, over the next 10 years to source products here in the United States. And we have been chosen as the first outside third-party certification company to work with them on this initiative. So they also have concerns about the fact that the products that they want to be promoting for this $50 billion initiative truly are made in USA, that this is fueling the real authenticity of what they're trying to achieve here. And they do realize that the only way you can really know if something's made in USA is if you do a full supply chain audit, and certification is a great way for them to protect themselves legally and for their manufacturers to protect themselves as well. And this is a great slide of the Walmart CEO, Bill Simon, saying our $50 billion commitment is our starting point, and if we put our minds to it, there's no question that we can achieve it and exceed it. We were at the Orlando Made in USA event that they hosted, and I was sitting probably second row from him as he did this phenomenal closing speech where this is where he was quoted from. And Walmart really feels that they are going to start a trend throughout the retail industry of other companies like Target and CVS and Walgreens and Bed Bath & Beyond to follow suit, and that $50 billion is just the start. And we can do a lot with this. We can go a long way with this. So I feel very optimistic about where this movement is going, and Walmart really leading the charge from the retailer standpoint. So again, this is basically what I just stated about Walmart, that Made in USA Certified has been selected by Walmart as an approved third-party certification partner for this initiative. So if a Walmart supplier or vendor or manufacturer is looking for to get a part of this $50 billion initiative with the multitude of buyers that they have at Walmart, they can achieve this Made in USA certification mark that will be applicable for this initiative. I think that going through our certification process and getting this seal for any manufacturer or vendor, whether they sell to Walmart only or a multitude of retailers, big and small, that having a Made in USA certified seal on their product is a great way to sell more product to Walmart and all of the other retailers. And you can do one package change for everybody, and you don't have to do one for Walmart and one for the other one. So this is a great way to maximize your dollars in being able to communicate this to consumers with going with one certification mark that's accepted in a variety of different places. How does our certification work? Well, we do a full-scale proprietary supply chain audit, which is conducted for each product that's certified. Determination is based on those audit results, and then Made in USA Certified recommends specific seals with the appropriate percentage or denies product for certification. Each product, or SKU, receives a certificate of compliance. It writes to the Made in USA Certified USA-C seal, logo, and messaging on all of the product's marketing materials. A unique identification number embedded in the seal which traces the product components back to each manufacturer, supplier, or distributor. And that's a very, I think, unique thing that we offer, because as you saw in the previous slide, there's all these generic Made in USA certified or Made in USA logos, and there's more popping up every day. Each seal of ours has this unique identifying number. You can see it here, that identifies that product as going through the certification and audit process. So that's not duplicable. So that if you see that seal, that's unique to that specific product. No one can go to the internet and download this seal and slap it on their product, because each of these seals is unique to the product. So I think that's also a very great selling point. But this slide shows you some examples of how we as a company have tried to be as transparent as we can for the consumer. So when we're working with the manufacturer and we're doing a supply chain audit, we have a clear view of how that product breaks down. So we know if it's 100% U.S. content, or if it's 90% U.S. content, 75 or 51. And so what we've done to give that consumer that transparency so there's no misleading statement, we put those percentages right there on the seal so that if a consumer sees that seal and sees that percentage mark, they know exactly what they're getting. And I think that that's also a very powerful tool for companies that are trying to build that trust with consumers. There is no attempt to mislead here. We're going to show you exactly how much of our product is made in USA. We've made our best effort. You know, some things maybe we can't get here, and so forth and so on. But this is our percentage, and this is what you're getting. So I think this is great for consumers, and it's great for manufacturers and for retailers alike. So that's a quick overview of who we are, what we do, why we do it, and why it's important to you as a manufacturer to look at this in terms of building that trust between you and the consumer and really leveraging that Made in USA story in an authentic and transparent way. If you have any questions, we have a team in our offices of people who are willing to answer those and get with you right away. You can email us at info@usa-c.com. You can visit us at our website, usa-c.com. You can join our group on LinkedIn. You can join the conversation on Twitter, and we have a very active Facebook page as well. And that is it.
So that's great. Julie, thank you very much. We do have some questions for you before we let you go. And I'm going to try and synthesize them down to a couple because they're generally all around the same subject areas. So the first is, thanks very much, Julie. As you did show us, there are so many Made in USA logos out there. It is really confusing, specifically at the consumer level. How can we be sure that Made in USA Certified will become the national standard and not some other certification out there? You might want to just speak to, if there are others out there, who are they?
That's a great question, Dina. We are the only company in the nation that does a full supply chain audit. I hate to throw out other people's names because I don't want to be disparaging in any way, but there are other companies that claim to do certifications for Made in USA that really just entail the manufacturer to go online, fill out an online form, and boom, you've got your logo. We're far different from that. We actually go through a very intense and rigorous supply chain audit where we contact every single one of the vendors of any given product and verify the actual percentage of that product as being made in USA. So we are the only, I hate to say that we have no competitors out there, but there's no one out there doing what we're doing. And so we are setting the standard. We want to be the national standard. We want to be the standard that retailers look for. We want to be the standard that consumers look for. We want to be the standard that the government looks to. So that's what we're striving for.
Okay, well, that leads perfectly into another question that we have here for you, Julie. How long typically does an audit take?
That's another great question, and I get that question all the time. We typically, it's hard to estimate how long an audit will take because it definitely depends on how many products or SKUs that a company wants to get certified, and it also depends on the complexity of those products. So those are two factors that weigh very heavily into how long it could take. So the short answer is that it could take anywhere from a week for a few products that are very non-complex or simple to 3 weeks to a month, maybe even longer if it's super, super, super complex. So I would say that a fair estimate would be anywhere from a week to a month, depending on complexity and the number of products that wish to be certified. But it's a pretty quick turnaround.
Okay, that's really pertinent information. Thanks for that. Are there certain product categories, Julia, that consumers are demanding certification in more than other categories?
Yes, there are, and we're seeing a lot of demand for companies that manufacture products, and we love to use this terminology, that are on me or in me. So if it's a product that a consumer is putting on their bodies, or it's something that they're consuming, like a food product or nutritional, they are very sensitive to where that product comes from and how that product was made. And so we're seeing a lot of interest in those categories where it's something that a consumer is either putting on themselves or their family's bodies, or in them, or in their family's bodies. Sorry about that. So I think that there's a big concern around that, and I just think that there's
personal care, Julie, apparel, things like that,
personal care.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Okay, and then of course you knew this one was coming, but can you give us a rough idea of pricing?
Yes, that is hard to answer directly, only because pricing is customized to each really of our customers' needs. So it depends again on how many products are being certified and complexity. So my best answer for that is for anyone that isn't even remotely interested in getting Made in USA certified, the best thing to do is to visit us on our website at usa-c.com and go in and request a quote, and you'll be, that quote will be received, and one of our team members will respond to you as quickly as possible and get in touch with you and find out what your unique needs are, and then we will give you a price that is customized to you.
Okay, that is great. And those generally, Julie, those are the questions that we have. So I'd like to thank you. Very well done, as always. Really, I think you couldn't see it while you were giving the presentation, but the chat going on in the audience was very high energy. So I'd like to also thank our audience. As always, we have a very intelligent audience who is asking all the best questions. So Julie, thanks to you, but thanks also to all the folks who have joined us today. And we'll look forward to the next one with Made in USA Certified. Thanks.
Thank you.